Hello, I'm Michael Reed, Vedic astrologer with over 20 years of experience in the astrological field. If you're interested in scheduling a consultation with me, please know that you can always do so through my astrological services page, which you will find linked above. In addition to that, I have a very special course which starts on the 25th of August. This course is called the Lajjitaadi Avasthas, the Fulfillment of Celestial Desires. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Lajjitaadi Avasthas today. But just to give you a general idea about this course, it's going to run on Sunday evenings from 8:30 to 10 p.m. London time for 44 consecutive weeks. It is presently open for a 10% discount for early registration until the 5th of June. That discount is applicable regardless of whether you register by trimester or by payment in full. So if you're interested in registering for this course, especially after you hear a little bit more about it, you can do so through the link above. So let's talk about the Lajjitaadi Avasthas. So in chapter 45 of Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, Parashara explains the Avasthas to us. And the Avasthas are the Deeptadi Avasthas, the Baladi Avasthas, the Jagradadi Avasthas, the Lajjitaadi Avasthas, and the Shayanadi Avasthas. Now, all of these have a very special function, and the Avasthas are the cornerstone of doing really excellent Parashara-based astrology. They help you to do really accurate astrology in general. The Lajjitaadi Avasthas relate to the fulfillment or lack of fulfillment a planet receives. And this will impact the areas of the chart that that planet rules, in addition to the area of the chart that it occupies. Now, most people, when they're beginning their astrological studies, they tend to focus upon the yogas in astrology and cruel and gentle influences to the planets, as well as dignity. And some people tend to stick with that particular system. But in my opinion, it's somewhat of an incomplete system. It doesn't give you the same vast range of view that working with the Avasthas do. Okay, so what are the Lajjitaadi Avasthas? Well, if you understand that a planet can receive cruel and gentle influences both, well, like I was saying, that's somewhat of an incomplete system of learning. Because, for instance, though Jupiter can be aspected by Venus, that seems like a gentle planet giving Jupiter a boost. But in actuality, Venus will also starve Jupiter because Jupiter considers Venus an enemy. So if we only take the cruel and gentle influences at face value, we're missing a whole layer of depth in association with the planets. In addition to that, you can have a cruel planet influencing another planet, and you might think, well, that's just going to create hardship for the planet. But that cruel planet might be a friend, and it might be delighting that planet. So these are all very important factors to consider. So I'm going to explain the Lajjitaadi Avasthas to you by naming them. So there are 6 Lajjitaadi Avasthas, the first of which is Lajjita, or ashamed Avastha. And this, quite literally, can create a sense of shame in a particular area of a person's life. It creates shame for that specific planet. You also have Garvita, or proud Avastha, which can create a healthy sense of pride for a planet. You also have 2 different Avasthas, Kshudita, or starved Avastha, and Trishita, or thirsty Avastha, which relate to a planet feeling a lack of fulfillment. And there are very subtle differences between these two, which I'm going to go more into depth on the Lajjitaadi Avasthas course. Then you have Mudita, or delighted Avastha, and Kshobita, or agitated Avastha. So a planet can experience each of those states as it goes about trying to find fulfillment through the houses that it rules and the houses that it occupies in the horoscope. And this in turn will cause an individual to develop healthy or unhealthy strategies in terms of living a fulfilled life. So these are a very important factor to understand, especially if you want to do really decent therapeutic astrology, because if you see, each planet can have some enemies that are hindering its approach to fulfillment, but equally some friends that are supporting its approach to fulfillment, right? So you need to offer advice to the individual based upon each of these and help to support them in finding further fulfillment through the planets that are in their horoscope. It's also a very important factor in regards to doing good predictive astrology, as well as working with medical astrology on a more in-depth level. So again, this course starts on the 25th of August. I will be going more into depth on each of these. So what we're going to do on this course is we're going to, with each planet, go through all the Avasthas for each planet. So for instance, if we're talking about Saturn, we would talk about the experience of Saturn in Lajjitaadi Avasthas, when it's being shamed by different planets, because Saturn can be shamed by different planets, you see. Or when it's being, when Saturn's proud, what that feels like. Or equally, when Saturn is feeling starved in the horoscope by various planets, what is that experience going to be like? Or when Saturn's thirsty, what would that experience be like? Or when Saturn's delighted by its friends, how will Saturn experience that? Or when Saturn is agitated, what can happen in the with the individual as a result of that? So we'll be going through these for every single planet, working with lots of examples and how to explore the level of impact from one planet to another using several different strength judgment systems, most especially working with Shadbala. So again, if you're interested in registering for this course, it is presently open for a 10% discount on early registration until the 5th of June. And the course starts on the 25th of August. It runs from 8:30 to 10 p.m. London time on consecutive Sundays. And if you'd like to find out further information on the course, including how to register, that can be found at the link above. That's going to do it for this brief look at the Lajjitaadi Avasthas in Vedic astrology. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.